you could get through, that I didn't block access.
You too.
Looks like the airport now.
Yeah.
Who wants to go ahead and start?
Okay.
We'll go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our agenda meeting today. Our next meeting will be July 1st, crossing over to the back half of the year with the 4th of July a few days later. So we welcome each and every one of you to this afternoon's agenda meeting where we'll review the action items that we will formally address next Tuesday, July 1 at 6 p.m. right here at City Hall. We have, we're going to discuss, consider resolution R-25-130 and destruction of records. And Harmony, can you give us a report?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is a resolution authorizing the destruction of certain city records. The city clerk's office has received the destruction request from various city departments. Those records have been verified and will be presented to you to authorize to destroy. It should be noted that some of the records do include a request from district court. So pursuant to state and local law, the quorum court has already passed a resolution authorizing the destruction of those particular district court records. All of the records to be destroyed are currently housed at ASMSA. Once they are certified to be destroyed, we will schedule their shredding. This is a rather large group of documents to be shredded, so we do have some dates on hold with rock solid shredding, and those are Friday, July 11th and Friday, July 25th. And Mayor, as you know, we will need a member of the Board of Directors to volunteer to be there to witness those and sign the affidavit. So another item will come to you next, but just know that we will need a volunteer from the board on those 2 days when we destroy those records.
And that's on July 11th?
They're both on Fridays, Friday, July 11th and Friday, July 25th. So we have so many that it's definitely going to take 2 days. That concludes my report.
2 days of records. Wow.
Yes, sir.
Director Webb?
Thank you, Mayor. Those dates again, July 11th and July 25th, right?
Yes, those
Both
are what's
Fridays.
penciled in. After the meeting on July 1st, I will confirm those, but they are holding those for us, and each of those days they're sending 2 trucks. We have a large amount this time, and that is a lot of that is due to the fact that we're moving the records from ASMSA to the building on Walter Street. So in doing so, we've done a deeper dive into what could be released and what could be destroyed.
Are we destroying these records because they're old? How old are they? And are they being backed up like on a digital file or on a flash drive?
So
for the rare scenario that they might need to come back up for some reason?
So there are different requirements on each of the types of records. So certain things are required to be kept 3 years, 7 years, 10 years, some are permanent. So on the sheets that will be attached to this item, you will see those, each one of those will be marked as far as the retention time and that it has attained that amount of time, so we no longer have to destroy those. There are several copies of things too that the original is being kept, and so these are just copies that are being destroyed, and or they have been digitized. So if you remember earlier, I think it was last year, the board approved some digitization of records. That's hard to say. And so some of these are copies of what has been digitized and is currently on Laserfish for permanent storage.
Thank you.
So, yes, sir.
Any Director Beard?
Thank you, Mayor. Is it normal that we vote on records that are being shredded? So all the time that records are shredded, that comes to the board before a vote?
So anything that's required to be kept a certain amount of time that has a retention period does have to be approved by the board to be destroyed. What doesn't have to be approved by the board are copies of things, working papers, notes, that kind of thing. But anything required to be kept for a certain amount of time, and you'll find those both in state law and then some in federal as far as grants go, or certain things are required federally to be maintained for a certain amount of time, and some are state law. So, so depending on those, yes, anything that's required to be kept will come to the board before being destroyed.
It's regulations covering record retention.
Yes, ma'am, exactly.
Okay, so then it sounds like the records won't be in our packet and we won't know what is being shredded.
It'd fill this room.
Yeah, at
Right,
least.
there are rooms full of records. So what will be in your packet are the requests for destruction, and there is a spreadsheet essentially that tells the box number and what is in that box, and then the amount of time that had to be retained, and then the year that could be destroyed.
Give it an
So-
example. What is it, a billing record, or is it a,
Yes, sir. So accounting records, including billing records, have to be kept for 7 years
Yeah.
per state law. And so we will have those billing records from utility billing services. We'll have some finance records that are the same accounting. They fall under the accounting type record.
this is not unusual within the healthcare industry. They have the same style of time frames, and it may be, 7 years after the last visit. Of course, if you're dealing with a child, until the age of majority and things like that. So, now everybody's going electronic at times, so you don't have the issue of paper, but, we still deal with a lot with paper.
And this is not an unusual process for cities or the city of Hot Springs. We've done
Correct.
this.
We do it regularly, and we have to have one of you. I guess the next item, somebody's got to volunteer to watch it being shredded.
So we would basically be voting on to shred records that we'll have a general idea of what the record is, but we won't know like what's inside because none of us would have time
You're
to
certainly
know.
able to view them.
When, Mayor? On the
You
Friday?
can start now, and you probably won't be done. I can guarantee you,
Yeah.
you won't be done.
I was just wondering, like,
We can bring
would there
one
be
box
time?
every 10 minutes.
Look,
No, but
I
the
personally,
board representative that is there, I've done this in the past.
Yeah,
I
you
have to.
have.
And on the box is a list of everything that's being destroyed. You can go through, before it's shredded, you can see what's on there if you want some, have
But
a
you bring in
question
a
about
big
it.
shred truck, and this thing is kind of like a constant, almost a conveyor belt type thing, where you just,
Yeah.
you're
On
throwing
the day,
stuff
on
in
the
and
day
out.
of, it is very
It's,
much a streamlined
It's not
process.
like we're gonna open a box and
No,
look through it.
no.
We'll be there for 10 years.
No,
But
but
you-
it's got, in that list, and she has, or the city will retain that list.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, good point.
Your
Director
packet
Dobbs
next
Smith.
week will have an inventory.
You'll volunteer?
Yeah.
Okay, that's our next item, I think. Thank
Well,
you.
it's one.
Have to.
We're on that right.
You're gonna
This
bring
is item one right
tacos? She's bringing tacos.
That's my idea.
Yeah, no, I was looking at you. All right, we'll go on to the next item. Bill?
Thank you, Mayor. Consider Resolution R-25-131, a resolution authorizing Rock Dock LLC doing business as Rock Solid Shredding to conduct certain record shredding services for the city of Hot Springs, Arkansas pursuant to ACA 1458-104 and Hot Spring Code 261.
Thank you. So this is the companion piece. This is actually who will be doing the shredding. So the state makes available certain annual contracts for goods and services. And so the city wishes to utilize the state's contract with Rock Dock LLC, doing business as Rock Solid Shredding, to procure the shredding services. They have done shredding for us in the past. This is the first time, though, however, that they're on state contract. So if approved, they will be shredding on site, like you said earlier. They will bring the trucks, and they do have those 2 dates on hold for us. The price per trip is a trip charge of $36 and then 16 cents per pound of shredded materials. So that's pursuant to that state contract.
And do we need to put Director Dobbs Smith's name in the resolution?
Her name will go on the affidavit that will be signed
Okay.
when it's shredded.
Is there air conditioner in there?
That's,
No.
Bring your own hand fan.
You might want to bring a
Director
fan.
Webb.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I would split one of those days with Director Dobbs Smith, if she'd like.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't think it matters if more than one goes, does
We'll
it?
put both
As long as
names
one's
in.
on
Yeah,
there?
I know I can be
We're gonna sign
available the
on.
11th, so.
Two or more, it's considered a meeting.
It is true.
We will have to make it public knowledge.
Just make sure that when they throw one in, you don't reach in and say, oh, I want them to look at that.
Don't discuss any
You
business.
might lose a few fingers.
All right, next item is consider resolution.
Goofy.
Are we ready?
We're good.
All right, next item is consider resolution R25-132, a resolution awarding a contract to Christ Engineers, Inc. for professional engineering, design, and bidding services for the Washita Treatment Plant Plate Settler Project in the amount of $288,000. Our project manager, Todd Pillar, will present the item. Todd?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. This project is for engineering services, structural engineering, bidding services, no construction. It's just engineering services. Our existing Washita water plant has 8 basins. 6 and 7 have the new stainless steel plate settlers like you've probably seen at the new water plant. The 1 through 5 have old tube settlers that are it's making the guys tough to treat water. So this engineering is specialized because 2 of the basins, 2 and 3, have a common wall, and we need to do structural design to put these steel plate settlers in. And this is for engineering and design only. And this was a part of your 2023 water bond fund.
Very good. Any questions of Mr. Pillar? Hearing none. Oh, we got Director Trustee.
Thank you, Mayor. Todd, what's the anticipated cost of this project? Do we have that yet? I know this is for bidding services, but is there an estimate on what it's going to cost?
Not construction-wise yet. All I have is the engineering was $288,000.
Right.
Once they do their design work, and they'll give us a construction estimate. And we won't do, it'll all come from the bond fund, so we won't be able to do all 5. We'll probably be able to do maybe 2 and 3. We got to do 2 and 3 at the same time.
Okay.
But 1, 4, and 5 we can do individually. We might be able to use that out of water CIP funds.
It'll be a significant expense.
All right.
Yeah, I don't have an exact number for you.
Well, yeah, just ballpark, but that's fine. Thank you.
5 actually failed, and I think they've got that working again, but the tube settlers are reaching end of life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any
We'll
further?
know more when they get their design done and they put the structural stuff in. Then we'll know what the cost is going to be.
Timeline on the design, I mean, is that a 3-month project, 6-month project? or-
Oh, no.
180 days, I think is what it said.
I think it's less than that. They have 180 days, but it won't take.
They
that
have
long.
180, okay, thank you.
Any additional questions or comments? Thank you.
Next, we'll begin your new business of the evening. Consider Resolution R25-133, a resolution authorizing an agreement for professional services with Half Associates, Inc. to develop a comprehensive master plan for sports recreation in the city of Hot Springs, Arkansas, in the amount of $100,000. And before I turn it over to Adam, we're really focusing on 3 of the sports, but they'll be looking at our entire program. But soccer, pickleball, and tennis are the 3 that we've asked them specifically to look at under this contract. Adam?
Thank you. The Sport Recreation Department is seeking to develop a comprehensive master plan to guide future planning efforts, facility enhancements, and program development. A critical element of this initiative is the incorporation of meaningful community input to ensure the plan aligns with local needs and priorities. The Sport Recreation Master Plan will establish strategic direction for both short and long-term physical improvements and recreational programming for municipal sport facilities, including, but not limited to, athletic fields and sports courts. In early 2025, the City of Hot Springs Sport Recreation Department issued a request for qualifications for professional services to develop a comprehensive master plan for for sport recreation in the city of Hot Springs. 8 responses were received and evaluated, and half associates received the highest rating of the qualified firms. The negotiations between the firm and the city resulted in an agreement presented to the Board of Directors for consideration. A notice of intent to award this contract to half has been published and no protests were received.
Any questions of Adam? Director Garcia.
Thank you, Mayor. In our packet, will it include a copy of the contract and the time frame that this will be completed?
Yes, ma'am. And it's 7 months is estimated for the completion.
Thank you.
One more.
Director Trustee.
Thank you, Mayor. Adam, how many firms responded?
8.
Did you say
Wow.
that?
Yes,
If you
sir.
did, I missed it. Okay,
Yes, sir.
8.
Yes.
Good. Thank you.
So within the master plan, Adam, are we looking at enhancements of current facilities or new
So
areas or a combination?
a little bit of both. So we're looking at enhancements of current facilities, but then we're not limiting them to just the current facilities, and rather having them look within the city limits for other opportunities.
Very good.
We will have 2 specific parks, Kimry, Linden, and potentially the Umetco site, to see what, if that's even doable out there under this project. And then a couple other sites that are not city parks within the city.
Yesterday at the
Director.
A&P meeting, Steve Harrison said Umetco was off the table for that.
I know that
From their
perspective, but we're going to keep that in there as part of the study just to know if it is feasible. We want to look at all the sites that are open to us and don't want to leave that one out.
Director Webb.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Adam, you mentioned 7 months is the duration for this, or I guess the maximum time. Any chance of it coming in sooner? Or
I would say that there is a chance that it comes in sooner, and there's a chance that it could take longer. It kind of depends on how it phases out. So it's broken out within the packet.
Never mind, excuse me. I was just going to ask you, will that kind of timeline be in the packet? But it sounds like you're telling us.
Yeah. So there's phase 1. There's 5 phases of this, and it's all within the packet.
Okay. Thank you.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Next will be your first ordinance of the evening. Consider ordinance O-2529, an ordinance approving PD Plan Development Plan with conditions for approximately .19 acre generally located at 514 Gaines Avenue and for other purposes. And our Planning and Development Director, Ms. Kathy Selman, will discuss. Kathy.
Thank you. The applicant is Garland County Habitat for Humanity, represented by Executive Director Cindy Wagstaff. And they are requesting PD development plan approval to construct 2 homes on a single double frontage 46 by 182 foot lot in Gaines Addition, as known as Block 10, Lot 4, in support of Forward Hot Springs and Hot Springs Housing Strategies goals to provide affordable housing. If approved, a separate land division will be required to turn that 1 lot into 2. Gaines PD Block 10 Lot 4 would allow Garland County Habitat to divide an 8,442 square feet lot into 2 new affordable lots for infill single-family homes in existing District 2 neighborhood. The minimum RN5 lot size for a single-family attached home is 4,250 square feet per dwelling. But for a single-family detached dwelling, 6,500 square feet is required per each. The applicant is seeking approval for 2 3-bedroom, single-family detached rather than attached homes on Lot 4. Block 10, Lot 4, zoned to RN5, meets 99.93% of the 8,500 square feet minimum area requirement. This lot in question has 8,442 square feet. So very, very close, but not quite there. Section 14.4D of Ordinance 6513, exceptions from district regulations, includes the following information. Garland County Habitat requests that the board grant the following exceptions to the district dimensional requirements for the planned development of 2 attainable houses. A, reduce the side yard setback on the north side to 4 feet, while increasing the south setback from 7.5 feet to 17.5 feet. And this is a net setback increase. B, it would grant a minimum lot size exception for the RN5 zone district to allow land division into 2 4,221 square foot lots, which, while smaller than the minimum lot size for the zone, are otherwise generally consistent with other developed lots in the vicinity and on that block. To be granted such exceptions, the applicant must demonstrate enhanced design and amenities. Characteristics and amenities to be considered in this determination include workforce/affordable housing set-asides as required by Ordinance 6513, Section 14.4D3F, and an increased side yard from 7.5 to 17.5 feet, thereby creating a more usable side yard along the lot's south side. Habitat believes that the standard is met by their 25-year 0% mortgage for the total cost of the home and by a 10-year silent second mortgage on the equity for the total appraised value of the property. The first mortgage also includes provisions to ensure that the home is the buyer's primary residence for the duration of the first mortgage. By providing new attainable homes, Habitat is helping to implement both the Hot Springs Housing Strategy and Forward Hot Springs Comprehensive Plan. There are approval standards, 5 of them, in Ordinance 6513. And the findings regarding that is that the impact of 2 single-family homes is nearly indistinguishable from the impact of 1 two-family home in terms of infrastructure, parking, and activity levels, and should not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other properties in the vicinity. On Block 10 are RPIDs 37228, 37248, and 37247, which are situated identically to the proposed PD. The zoning remains RN5, but becomes subject to the approved PD site arrangement of 1 lot that becomes 2 lots, each lot having its own street frontage. Adequate utilities and infrastructure are present in the neighborhood, along with drainage, off-street parking and loading, pedestrian access, and all other necessary facilities. The proposed PD would create 2 back-to-back residential lots where 1 lot now exists. Each lot would be developed to provide adequate vehicular ingress and egress designed to minimize traffic congestion upon public streets. The subject lot fronts both Gaines and Mayflower streets. And finally, the proposed residential lots would arrange structures, parking areas, walks, landscape, lighting, and other site design elements to be compatible with the surrounding neighborhood. Garland County Habitat for Humanity is the sole owner of the subject land as required by Section 14.4B initiation. The PD development plan proposes flexibility in the development of land, encourages a creative approach to the use of land that results in better development in the way of additional housing, allows better utilization of the land, provides efficient use for more effective arrangement of structures, and facilitates implementation of adopted city land use policies, particularly with respect for areas for potential redevelopment as described in the purpose statement in the ordinance. If the PD development plan is approved, the development plan will constitute the regulations applicable to the subject property. The plan development must be developed in accordance with the development plan rather than the district regulations otherwise applicable to the property. The ability to provide affordable workforce housing would be doubled by this PD approval, and this PD application meets multiple requirements for exceptions from the zone district regulations, thereby qualifying Gaines Block 10 Lot 4 for PD approval. Should this be approved, Garland County Habitat for Humanity will seek subdivision approval subsequently in compliance with the approved PD development plan. Staff finding to Planning Commission is that the application demonstrates that ordinance number 6513, section 14.4, plan development purpose, authorization, exceptions from district regulations, initiation, procedures, and effect of approval have been met or can be met subject to conditions. The staff report recommendation to Planning Commission was to accept the findings and recommendation of the staff report to recommend that the Board of Directors amend the zoning map for Gaines Addition Block 10 Lot 4 to add plan development, PD, to the existing RN5, Residential Neighborhood 5 zone district in accordance with the procedures and standards of 14.4, subject to the approved development plan with 8 conditions. Planning Commission considered this item at their regularly scheduled June 12th, 2025 meeting, and by their vote of 7-0, accepted the staff report findings and recommendation that the board adopt an ordinance approving the PD development plan for Gaines Addition Block 10 Lot 4, subject to the 8 conditions. That concludes the presentation.
Got any questions for Ms. Selman? Director Beard?
Thank you, Mayor. The question about the lots, you said that there would be 2 houses. Are they going to be side by side, or will one be behind the other, like front and back?
The way the lot is currently configured, there is a frontage on Gaines and there is a frontage on
Mayflower.
The other one. Yes.
Mayflower.
So the lot, if approved for this PD development plan, would be divided precisely in the center, so that you would have 2 rectangular lots, one facing one street and one facing the other. And they would be developed the way that the other houses along those 2 streets are developed. They would each have a driveway leading from the street that they front, and this would be pretty much indistinguishable from the development pattern that you see on that block right now.
So that has, were those 2 lots joined together, or were they one, that was always one big lot for that same?
That's right. It's always been one big lot.
Oh, okay. And then my next question is, how does Habitat, and I don't know if you're able to answer this, but if there's like a low-lying area, or who would answer the question if it's like in a flood zone? I drive by there often, I see standing water. Is that something that the homeowner would have to deal with, or how does that situation?
Habitat, in preparing the lot for development, will grade it to be flat and suitable for development in such a way that it can be maintained by the homeowner.
Okay. So, and is there a survey done, though, for the, if there's standing water, basically Habitat would fix that problem? I mean, not standing water, but if it's in a low-lying area, then that's what Habitat does before the homeowner I mean, will that be a problem for the homeowner if it's in a low-lying area? Like, would they be susceptible to flooding, is my question.
The lot will be graded in such a way that the road will be lower than the lot, and drainage will move from the lot to the improved street.
Okay. And then also the house that was there, that was torn down in 2017. Is that, do you know when that was torn down?
It sounds like you know
Around
more
there.
about that than I do. I'm sorry, I can't answer that.
Okay. Well, I understood that when houses are torn down and there's a lien on the property, and
Yes.
that lien stays on there for 10 years. So, did they buy the land, or how did they acquire the land for the house?
The land ownership is now Habitat for Humanity. By what agreement they obtained it, I do not know. It's my understanding that the lien has been extinguished.
Okay. Well, who would be able to answer the question how they gained ownership? Is there someone here from Habitat, or would I be
There
able
will be someone here from Habitat
on
on
Tuesday?
your meeting,
Okay.
yes.
Just a second. Okay, that's all of my questions. Thank you.
Any additional questions from directors? Director Webb?
Thank you, Mayor. Miss Kathy, the lot in question is lot 37244, and you had mentioned that Habitat for Humanity is the owner of this lot. The two lots that run south of the lot in question, that's going to be 37245 and 37246. Those lots look exactly the same as 37244. Can you share with us if Habitat for Humanity also owns these other two lots?
I don't have any idea.
Okay. Would you by chance know if the other two lots are zoned the same as the lot in question?
My understanding
Currently.
is that the entire lot, the entire block
Yeah.
is zoned RN5.
Okay, so 37244 as of right now is RN5, and that's going to be the case, you're saying, for the two lots that are south of this one?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Additional questions?
Again, we can supplement this if you would like, but Garland County Habitat for Humanity acquired the property on January 18, 2023. As far as the other property is concerned, the ones that were already rezoned, one's owned by Stephanie Knox, the other's owned by Dana Hill, and they acquired their ownership from John Conrad.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. So Brian, you're saying 37245, that's Knox? Owner's name is Knox?
No, sir, 37245 is Carla Caratu, Karateew. The city attorney is referring to the two lots that Ms. Selman described were situated the same
I
as
got
the
you.
current one.
Okay. Yeah, I was speaking to the two that are directly south of the lot in question.
Oh, okay.
Those
That's-
are not
individually
owned.
owned.
They are.
Yeah, okay. But as of right now, you don't know if Habitat for Humanity owns those other two?
They do not.
They do not.
They do not? They're individually owned?
They're
That's what-
individually owned.
Okay. Thank you. But
Additional questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, your last item of the evening, is ordinance O-2530, an ordinance waiving competitive bidding pursuant to ACA 1447-138, and authorizing an agreement with Max Foot Construction Company LLC for certain upgrades to the Hot Springs Creek Sewer Lift Station and Hot Springs Number 3 Lift Station in the amount of $770,000 and $300. Todd?
Thank you again. Good afternoon. This is for two projects that are part of our CAO with ADE&Q. And the first one is a Hot Springs Creek Sewer Lift Station in the amount of $515,000. And the other one is for Hot Springs 3 Number Lift Station, $255,300. And we already have purchased all the equipment for these two projects. These are just construction amounts to install the equipment. And we had budgeted in our 2025 wastewater bond fund $830,000. And the max foot construction company price was $770,300. And it'll take about 8 months to complete this. And like I said, it comes out of the 2025 wastewater bond fund.
Any questions of Mr. Pillar on this? Director Holliday.
Thank you. It may be more of a Bill question, but we are waiving competitive bidding. Did we discuss why?
Yes, time is of the essence on this project because Max Foot is in the immediate area currently working for us. They can get to it immediately. We are happy with their work on other areas, and so that's the reason that bidding is just not feasible for this, because we need to get it done immediately. The equipment has already been ordered, as Todd mentioned. It's literally being stored and ready to be installed.
Yeah, it's at Adams Street.
So that's why.
Okay, thank you.
Additional questions? Hearing none. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, that concludes your items for next Tuesday's meeting.
Well, looks like we're going to have a relatively short meeting next week, Tuesday, July 1 at 6 p.m. right here at City Hall, and that'll be in advance of the very festive 4th of July weekend. So thank you all for joining us, and we are adjourned.